Hey guys, Brendan here. Today I thought I'd talk about the mess that continues to be Sony PlayStation. So I'm kind of glad that they're doing what they're doing with the cancellation of physical media in 2028. And just a few days before that was another story that came out where people that purchased movies on their PlayStation account, well, about 551 movies will be removed without refunds or store credit. And this happens to be the case because Studio Canal and their licensing agreement with Sony PlayStation is about to expire. And so all these people that purchased this media, well, they will no longer have access to it. So the reason why I say I'm happy that this has come out, this story, is because it kind of exposes how by 2030 we'll own nothing and we'll be happy. You know that famous saying by the World Economic Forum? Well, it just kind of shows that most people believe that we'll be priced out of things, and that's largely true as well. Just because prices keep climbing, wages are not keeping pace. But a lot of people don't understand is that another reason why there is no true ownership, or at least it's very rare nowadays, is because of licensing models, or at least models that mimic licensing. Like, for example, I have a very popular video on this channel that goes over the 3 types of stock ownership. The most used stock ownership today is probably what most of the world has in their brokerage accounts, investment accounts, pension funds, retirement accounts. It's where your name is not directly tied to a security, so you don't have ownership of that security. What you do have is a security entitlement, and so you're entitled to the voting rights, you're entitled to the profits, but you're not actually entitled to the security itself. And because your name is not directly tied to the security itself, you are referred to as a beneficial owner. So that just means you're further down the line for that security. Whereas the direct owner of that security, in most cases, is a large shadow corporation that nobody has ever heard of. And in the case of the US, most of the US stock market is not owned by BlackRock, it's not owned by baby boomers. The direct owner is a large company referred to as Seed & Co. And that company is a $100 trillion company that has the superior ownership rights over most people and most corporations. And so going back to how most asset classes and financial structures, they're more of a licensing structure. What that means is, say if there's a global financial crisis and assets come up short, well, it's possible you could lose your holdings because you're not the true owner of those assets. So Sony right now is being sued by consumers because their buy now buttons, their confirm purchase buttons are intended to mislead consumers into believing that what they bought is a permanent thing to their libraries. And I don't think they're going to win that lawsuit because in the fine details of the contract that they sign when they purchase said license, well, it says in the fine print and nobody reads the fine print. So it would legally hold up in court, at least in most cases. But who knows? We'll see with that one. And the same thing is with your brokerage account. It's the same thing with your bank account. The list goes on and on. The deeper you dig into this giant gaping hole in the ground of things you don't own, even though you think you own them. So I think this is a good thing right now with the cancellation of physical media and well, the forced push of digital media, because this will start to raise questions in people's heads about what do they truly own. Because even though physical media and digital media are essentially licenses that you purchase, with physical media being indefinite and digital media being on a timeline, at least with physical media, it's a permanent, well, not permanent, up until it breaks down, license that you have ownership over, or at least it's something that isn't easily taken out of your hands unless somebody were to knock at your door and take it from you. Whereas with digital media, it's quite easy to just put a timeline and push a button on a keyboard, and then poof, there goes the things that you bought. And there's a famous saying where if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. Well, I don't know how you would apply that to most assets around the world, especially if they're structured like a licensing model. I would say at that point, the laws need to be changed. More discussion needs to take place on what is owned by who and how can we transfer ownership back to people in the masses and take it away, the concentration of those assets and that ownership, away from big corporations and big governments. So the only way to do that is to bring more awareness to this issue. And one way you could do that is by liking this video, sharing it with anybody and everybody you can think of. Comment down below what you think, because the more engagement this video gets, the more the algorithm would want to push it out to other people. So if you enjoyed this one, subscribe to the channel for other content like this in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.